Chosen one, listen. You didn't land here by accident. Out of all the noise, all the distractions, all the voices you could have tuned into tonight, you ended up right here. And that's not random. That's alignment. That's divine timing. You're not just scrolling. You're searching. You've been feeling it for a while now. That quiet pull. That sense that something bigger is calling your name. And let me tell you, you're absolutely right. There is nothing ordinary about you. And tonight proves it. This isn't just another video. This isn't just another night. This is your moment. A signal from heaven, straight into your spirit, letting you know, you are chosen. You are seen. You are ready. So lean in. Forget about the doubts. Forget about what anybody else thinks. Forget about what didn't work before. Tonight is about you. Your breakthrough. Your clarity. Your next level. You've already survived what was meant to break you. You've already carried what most people couldn't. And now it's your turn to step into the kind of insight and authority that others only dream of. So take a deep breath. Feel that fire in your chest. That's not just emotion. That's destiny waking up. And tonight, you're about to see what you've been praying for. Let's go. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. Something within awakens tonight, tuned to a frequency that escapes ordinary senses. For this fleeting span of hours, access is granted to a hidden architecture of reality that hums beneath the surface. This isn't about gazing far into distance, but rather into depths, a crossing over thresholds of perception where unseen patterns reveal themselves. Tonight, passage is permitted into halls where intentions take shape, where blueprints of existence lie waiting to be discovered, where the next chapters of your journey are already inscribed. This is not fiction nor illusion. It is a rare alignment of spirit and awareness, and you stand at its center. It is not a reward, not approval handed down by others, but a capacity birthed in the quiet struggle, in scars carried silently, in choices made when fear might have won. This kind of sight is entrusted only to those who endured storms, yet kept believing there was meaning in the chaos. The invisible does not squander itself on casual curiosity. The weight of this clarity does not rest on perfection, but on readiness. There may still be doubt. There may still be hesitation. But these, in fact, prove that the heart has been softened, humbled, and therefore prepared. Tonight, the veil thins for you. And when the unseen floods into view, you won't remain passive. The moment will demand something of you. When the contours of what comes next etch themselves across your inner horizon, you will no longer tolerate confusion. Choices will glow with unmistakable intent before you reach them. Spaces will announce whether they are meant for you. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. Every action, pause, and word will feel anchored to a quiet knowing. This isn't about seizing control, but about receiving lucidity. And that is its own power. Too many drift not because they lack strength, but because they never glimpse what's ahead. But that changes tonight. A lens is fitted over your essence, and it sharpens everything. Soon you'll discern shifts before they surface. You'll detect alignments where others see only chance. You'll feel the rhythm of endings and beginnings like tides moving beneath your feet. Guesswork dissolves when recognition blooms. And most striking of all, what enters your awareness tonight will reshape how you walk into tomorrow. Second guessing will fall away. Pleas for signs will fade. Why? Because what has been shown cannot be unseen. Some of your hardest struggles trace back to buried moments you barely remember, silent wounds, forgotten events, forces that quietly shaped your path. Tonight, however, the layers peel back, not to wound but to release. You may revisit fragments of childhood, encounter emotions you thought were long dead, uncover echoes you unknowingly carried. But this time, a deeper wisdom interprets them, illuminating the belief that seeded your fear, uncovering the instant that birthed the loop, revealing what has been feeding the wrong outcomes. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. Yet this is not a retreat into the past. This is an advance into sovereignty. You revisit not to linger, but to reclaim what was always yours. The unseen has long hoped you would avoid this reckoning, because in seeing it clearly, you dismantle everything that ever bound you. Tonight arrives not as a suggestion, but as a command, carried on an unseen wind that insists on your full attention. What enters your mind in these early hours is not mere data or chance. These impressions are intricate patterns, coded instructions from beyond, a compass etched into the unseen. Prepare for familiar things to appear unrecognizable. A connection you thought solid may now feel hollow. A quiet inner voice might insist it is time to shift, to release, to begin. Insights about paths you've resisted, ideas you've ignored, or roles you've avoided will press themselves into focus. This is not coincidence. It is confirmation of what has always been waiting. The gravity of this moment cannot be overstated. Clear your surroundings. Silence the noise. Let the stillness take over, because what emerges demands more than distracted glances. These revelations will unsettle you, transform you, and bless you, but only if you are prepared to notice and act. Do not anticipate thunder or spectacle. This truth often arrives softly, as an impression, a sudden clarity, a fleeting image, a word that lingers. These hours will carry sensations you cannot name, but cannot deny. Do not retreat from them. Lean closer. The visions might disguise themselves as memories resurfacing. They may come as dreams so vivid they feel like waking. Heat might bloom through you. A name or a phrase might repeat until it carves itself into your thoughts. Stay, go. Begin, release. Every fragment matters. This is not fantasy, but deliberate dialogue. Keep a place ready to catch every piece. Write, record, preserve what comes. None of these signals are random. They are fragments of a larger language, stitched together to guide what comes next. This night does not only unveil what is ahead, it also exposes what has been hidden in plain sight. For too long, shadows have moved against you unnoticed. Doubt, hesitation, confusion, heavy silence. Now the lights are thrown on. No deception can survive the clarity that is coming. Faces, contracts, conversations, environments, all may shed their disguises under this illumination. Suddenly, what was concealed becomes obvious. This is not something to fear. Truth cuts, yes, but it also cures. Once uncovered, the weight of falsehood collapses. That which pretends to shine but carries darkness loses its hold. Tonight is not just about seeing what opposes you, but about receiving the precise steps to overcome. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. For ages, questions have burned in quiet corners of your heart. When does the heaviness lift? When does the delay end? When will the change come? Tonight, the silence breaks now. This is where the long wait meets the first spark of fulfillment. The breakthrough arrives not with noise, but with a quiet certainty, a glimpse so potent it shifts everything. The answers may not scream, but they will land, like threads of light weaving into your awareness. This is more than recognition. It is the moment you locate the point of origin, the lever that turns the lock. Perhaps it is a boundary you must draw, a connection to release, a decision to claim, a door to shut. And here is the power. What becomes visible tonight unravels the dam that held you back. You no longer need motivation or more voices telling you what to do. You need only the vision that cuts through the fog. And tonight you receive it. The ceiling fractures. The air clears. Silence splinters. This change does not wait for a convenient season. It begins now, in these fragile hours when most of the world sleeps. What enters your perception between now and dawn is no fleeting moment, but a map unfolded before you. The next span of years reveals itself not in complete detail, but in flashes bright enough to guide you forward. Like one studying constellations to navigate a journey, you will begin to see how the hidden movements of your life align into purpose. Cycles close. New patterns emerge. Partnerships form where there was once emptiness. Dead ends dissolve. Clarity overtakes guessing. You will discern which roads nourish your future, which ones drain it, and which lead nowhere at all. These coming years are not meant for mere survival. They are the canvas for strategy. And tonight, you are handed the outline before the painting begins. This is more than comfort. This is the architecture of your next chapter sketched into view. Gather what you witness. Document what rises. Every fragment matters, because what you capture now becomes the map you follow next. No more drifting. No more delay. From this moment, precision replaces wandering. This moment is a threshold, sharp, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. What approaches now is not entertainment, not mere comfort, but a defining encounter that reshapes the way everything else will be seen. Pretenses disintegrate, facades collapse, and the haze that has obscured your inner vision is swept away, as if by invisible hands. What you believed about others, about yourself, about the path ahead is about to be stripped down to its essence. No more guessing. What has been hidden behind rehearsed gestures and quiet deceit becomes unmistakable. Smiles that carried quiet malice, words that sounded like blessing but felt like chains. Tonight, their true color surface, not to harden your heart, but to cleanse it if your heart overflows with divine love. Now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. For every mask that falls, a deeper purpose comes into focus. Authentic allies become evident, the ones who help bear weight rather than add to it. Meaningful connections distinguish themselves from parasitic ones. You will finally feel which presences steady your spirit, and which only drain it. This may sting at first, but clarity has always been kinder than illusion. Some who have walked beside you were never walking toward the same horizon. Tonight, that misalignment becomes unmissable. Once you see, do not unsee. Do not rush to cover what has been uncovered. Let go where release is needed. Stand firm where loyalty has been revealed. Those destined to accompany you into what's next must carry their own light. Proximity alone is no longer enough. There are junctures in life that leave a mark so deep it becomes a part of who you are, echoing louder than memory itself. This is such a juncture. What you encounter in these hours will embed itself like an inscription on your soul. Quiet proof that you have witnessed something no one can take from you. This is not a ceremonial spectacle. It is a consecration, a signal that you are no longer merely talented or capable, but chosen and entrusted. What happens tonight is not for applause, but for accountability. Not just to inspire, but to seal you into your assignment. You will emerge not just moved, but transformed, branded in a way that others will not recognize, but will feel. The weight of what you carry will be evidence that your eyes have seen what theirs could not. Honor this as sacred. Write it down. Protect it. Tend to it. What arrives now is not just relevant to this chapter, but foundational to all that follows. Later, you will look back to this night and understand everything changed here, not because of something loud or grandiose, but because a quiet certainty settled into place, and you finally saw what had been calling you all along. The pull you felt, the questions that have followed you through sleepless nights. What does it all mean? Why the struggle? Why this path? Begins to resolve now. The vision comes, and when it does, the fog recedes. The call has never been absent. Only the clarity was missing. But tonight, threads that never seemed to connect will weave together. Past pain will reveal its role as preparation. The intensity of your care, your passion, your burden will finally make sense as training for what only you can step into. Do not flinch when the magnitude of the vision rises before you. Do not shrink when it feels too large to hold. Of course it feels that way. It is meant to. You were never shaped for mediocrity. You were never built just to endure. You were formed with a mission stamped into your spirit before you even knew how to name it. There are nights when silence itself feels alive, humming with something you cannot name, yet cannot ignore. This is one of those nights. The mission waiting for you does not announce itself with fanfare. It arrives through subtle currents running beneath the surface. When the boundary between the seen and unseen dissolves, the signs may surprise you. Warmth may rise through your chest. A shiver may trace your spine. Tears may come suddenly, for no reason you can explain. Perhaps words seem to echo inside you louder than sound itself. or flashes of images appear with impossible clarity. This is not invention, not imagination. It is recognition. Each impression carries a weight and quiet confidence impossible to fabricate, a certainty beyond doubt that what you're perceiving is not your own creation. Even if unfamiliar, it carries no confusion, only a deep awareness that something greater is speaking through it. Pay close attention to patterns that repeat. If the same symbol appears again and again, or a certain number, or a single phrase lingers stubbornly, do not dismiss it. That is how meaning insists on being heard. Don't wave these moments away as coincidence or idle thought. This is your perception being stretched to reach further than before. What comes to you is not merely information. It is a kind of map written in a language beyond words. Trust the sensations, the whispers, the images. They are your invitation into a heightened awareness of what has always been just beyond the edge of your vision. These hours hold a rare quietness. While the rest of the world sleeps, the noise that normally clouds the air thins, and a sharper frequency emerges. Between darkness and dawn, the atmosphere shifts, and the gates to deeper wisdom unlock, but only for those awake enough to notice. This is not the hour of restlessness. It is the watch of clarity. Many who sought answers in other ages found them in moments like these, because the inner world was soft enough to listen, and the outer world was finally still. What comes to you now is not random inspiration. It is revelation designed for this exact time, meant only for you, carrying answers that ordinary noise would drown out. When the signals come, in feeling, sight, or sound, follow them. Don't distract yourself. Don't hesitate. Don't try to explain it away. If you are awakened in these hours, it is because you were summoned, not disturbed. Step deliberately into this quiet chamber. Sit, listen, write, breathe. Above all, remain open. This opening will not last forever, but for this brief window it belongs entirely to you. Take what it gives. What arrives in this hour comes in layers, deliberate, profound, and impossible to overlook. It moves through you as three distinct currents. A caution that shields you, a strength that arms you, and a beauty that restores you. Each one plays its part, and together they carve the way forward unlike anything you have known before. The caution may surface as an image of something crumbling, a sense of a presence withdrawing, or the sharp awareness that someone's motives are unraveling. Let it come. It does not intend to frighten you, but to fortify you. The strength may emerge as a phrase you cannot shake, a quiet resolve settling into your bones, or a specific action that crystallizes in your mind. Clutch it. This is your safeguard against what you cannot yet see. And then the beauty, that unmistakable presence that floods through and reminds you there is still magic stitched into the fabric of existence, that everything watching over you has not turned away, but remains vigilant. This is not theater. This is not sentiment. It is clarity dressed in grace, raw and tender at once. What is revealed here has the power to alter the foundation beneath your feet. Receive it fully. Believe it without reserve. And above all, use it. Transformation rarely begins on the surface. It germinates in quiet places inside, where no one else can reach. Tonight, as the unseen realm pulls closer, something buried in you begins to stir. You'll know it when it happens, a sudden radiance rising, a quiet tremor traveling through you, an ache that gives way to an unexpected calm. It won't shout, but it will be undeniable. The quiet energy that flows through you tonight is not random. It will wash away the layers of fatigue you've worn for too long, clearing space for something far larger than what came before. For too long the walls around your heart have been locked, calloused by disappointment, rejection, disillusionment. Tonight they splinter, the numbness melts, the hidden grief spills out, and the fragile hope you thought was gone flares back to life. You may weep without knowing why. Let it happen. This is not collapse. This is restoration. This is the unmistakable evidence that what watches over you has reached you at last. As you allow it to move through you, you'll notice a sharpness in your senses. What used to puzzle you will fall into place. What once felt obscured will feel obvious. This is no accident, because when the heart softens, the spirit aligns. And when the spirit aligns, the signal is clear. This inner awakening becomes the key that unlocks every external gate. Do not stifle it. If your body reacts with tears, with shaking, with heat, with stillness, trust it. You are undergoing more than a shift. You are undergoing release. There is nothing fragile about this. It is the current of something vast breaking through your resistance. You are not just a mind carrying a soul. You are a living field of energy, purpose, and rhythm. And tonight, as the unseen presses close, even your body will respond. Some will feel a pulse in their hands. Others may feel their chest lighten or a deep calm settle in their core. These are not tricks of imagination. They are the proof that what has been bottled inside is breaking loose. Your frame has been heavy with burdens that were never yours, anxiety left behind by others, exhaustion from invisible battles, confusion tangled in your flesh. Tonight, all of it begins to dissolve. What you feel rising in its place is your system, syncing with what it was always meant to carry. The heaviness will drain away. Breath will deepen. Steps will steady. It will feel as though your entire body has been recalibrated. Bones lighter, thoughts clearer. Joy no longer just an idea, but a quiet certainty humming beneath everything. Honor what happens here. If you need to lie still, then lie still. If you need to stand tall, then stand. If you need to move, cry, or speak, then let it flow. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is the vessel where transformation takes root. Tonight is not only insight, it is the arrival of your authority in full measure. There comes a point when resilience evolves into authority, when enduring quietly is no longer enough, and the quiet power beneath the surface demands to stand and speak. That moment is here. It begins as a rising within, a calm certainty that fear no longer dictates the way forward. This is not arrogance. This is alignment with the rank your spirit has carried all along. You will notice words leaving your mouth with new weight, prayers sharpened into declarations, presence that shifts a room before you say a thing. This is not because you have suddenly become someone else, but because you are finally standing as who you already were. Breakthrough no longer feels like pleading. It feels like command. That shift is vital now because what waits ahead requires a different posture than the one that carried you here. The mind that survived the storms cannot guide you into the garden. Tonight, you are handed more than a glimpse of the future. You are handed the staff to lead yourself into it. You are no longer only watching. You are shaping. Atmospheres bend around your voice. So notice how your chest expands as this settles into you. Notice how your stance straightens without you thinking about it. That is the confirmation of a soul stepping into its station. One of the deepest ruptures in this hour has nothing to do with external battles or future blessings. It happens inside. At last you will feel permission to lay down the quiet guilt you've kept hidden. Years of fault carried silently, about choices, lost time, misplaced trust, dissolve as grace catches up to you. Suddenly you see what you could not. Every misstep carried you here. Even your stumbles built the wisdom you walk with now. Tears may fall, but they will taste of release, not regret, because shame and sovereignty cannot share the same space. And when you finally forgive yourself, something previously dormant wakes. That version of you, long overshadowed, emerges, not the one the world sculpted or pain distorted, but the original self that always waited beneath. When this vision meets you, the real you, everything shifts. You see why small spaces suffocated you, why certain connections recoiled from your light, why you always felt out of step with mediocrity. And when you see through this lens, validation loses its appeal. You stop rehearsing explanations. You stop minimizing your presence. You step forward as though mirrors finally reflect the truth. This is who you were always meant to be. From that quiet agreement, the ground begins to respond. The invisible machinery of heaven reconfigures in your favor. What felt impossible only yesterday begins to unlock in silence, not by accident, but because the unseen has already shifted. People are repositioned, paths clear, resistance softens, plans align. You may feel the tension drain from your shoulders, the weight in your chest loosen. A quiet click echoes in your spirit. The door turns. Do not dismiss these quiet movements. They are the most certain signs. Without spectacle, The board resets, and the pieces move into place. While you simply breathe and obey, heaven's design moves forward. This does not feel like noise. It feels like a slow, steady exhale after holding it in for too long. The ache that lived beneath your ribs is gone. The knot that hardened in your gut dissolves. The mental pressure you thought would never ease finally lifts. This is not weakness. This is strength finally allowed to rest. It does not roar like a crowd. It settles like calm water after a storm. You feel the weight slide from your hands because it was never yours to carry forever. What you bore quietly all this time, the burdens no one saw, are traded for peace tonight. And that peace is not shallow. It roots itself deep enough to change how you stand, how you choose, how you breathe. You realize you do not have to strive anymore. The chase is over. The door that always seemed locked has been waiting for you to stop pounding and simply turn the handle. When release comes, it may look like stillness, or tears, or a strange lightness flooding your chest. That is not just relief. It is a reintroduction to yourself. You are finally allowing what has always been true to rise. You no longer need to impress the divine. You only need to surrender what was never yours to hold. Breakthrough doesn't always sound like a shout. Sometimes it is quieter than a whisper. Sometimes it sounds exactly like your first real breath in years.